Holy Trinity.
Oh, okay. Go ahead on then.
You think Jaden's a narcissist
Yes.
over your son?
Yes.
And then when did she become because you called her that?
Don't say that. I said chick.
No. Were you a lesbian before or bisexual? Did you go over there to see Krishan Jr. because you wanted to see the baby or because you wanted it to be a part of the show?
You better stop.
Very controversial.
Now we get into the sauce.
You say you and your sister will never be cool again.
Nah, I don't put Krishan. You say I don't put that up.
You filed a lawsuit.
My team gonna be mad if I'm talking about this.
You have a man.
Okay.
Did he cheat?
What's going on between us?
I think Blue punched your dad.
Look, I already got my lick back.
Who do you hate on the show? You just knocked somebody's tooth out.
Well,
Did you think you would like me?
but at that moment, I was really mad at all of them.
Tell us how you feel.
Don't f***ing play with me.
Are you a cheater? I know you're an eater.
Oh my God, he be. It's good. Oh my Jason.
What is your love language?
Any available man with a heartbeat at this point. No, my love language, you know what? Quality time, because I don't have it.
Right.
So when you give it to me and I give it to you, we have to respect it and cherish it.
Nicki Minaj has been eating up Jason Lee and Cardi B alive. So now he has to return to his president election city council thingy. Like he's trying to make all these important moves just.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. This was the most boringest interview I've ever seen in my life. And I'm gonna give it to Cardi because Cardi, she answered the questions, she delivered. I'm gonna definitely give that to her. But Jason Lee is just not a good host. How are you gonna interview somebody and then only talk about yourself? Then some of them questions he was kind of asking, it was like stuff we already knew. This is why we say that she should have went on Armon's show way before his, or Joe Budden, someone other than him. Now, the only thing I'm going to say about Cardi is that I'm going to take a page out of My Radio's book. You need to start holding yourself accountable for something. Jason, why didn't you talk about any new music or projects that she had? This was like a waste of promo. And Cardi, you can't sit up there and be talking about how you get bullied all the time when you tend to be a bully yourself.
What if one of the biggest rumors in hip-hop was never actually denied? Not proven, not confirmed, but also never fully shut down. Because recently something slipped out that has people looking at this entire situation differently. And the wild part, it didn't come from a headline, it came from someone who wasn't supposed to say anything at all. And now, people think the truth might have been sitting right in front of us this whole time. It all goes back to 2021. That's when Saweetie and Quavo officially called it quits. And it wasn't just a normal breakup, it was messy, public, and full of tension. Tweets were flying, subtle shots were being taken, and fans could tell there was more going on behind the scenes than what was being said. Then, out of nowhere, a rumor started picking up serious traction. Not just any rumor, but one that involved someone way too close to the situation. Offset. The idea that Saweetie and Offset might have crossed a line while both were in relationships hit the internet fast. And once it started spreading, it didn't slow down. But here's the thing, at the time, everyone involved denied it. Offset spoke up and shut it down, saying it was nothing more than a rumor. He even hinted that whatever issues existed between him and Quavo went way deeper than that, but refused to explain what he meant. And that right there is where people started raising eyebrows. Because when someone says, it's deeper than that, but won't say what that is, it doesn't exactly calm things down. If anything, it does the opposite. And then Saweetie responded too. She denied everything, straight up. But instead of putting the situation to rest, it just added another layer of confusion. Because now you had multiple denials, but no clear explanation of what actually caused the fallout. And then there was Cardi B. At first, she didn't say anything at all. And that silence, it spoke volumes. Because while everyone else was responding, denying, or deflecting, Cardi chose to stay completely quiet. No posts, no interviews, no reactions. And in situations like this, silence doesn't always kill a story. Sometimes, it feeds it. Eventually, she did speak on it. But when she finally addressed the situation, her response wasn't what people expected. She said she stayed quiet because she wanted to find out the truth for herself. Not because the rumor was false, Not because it didn't happen, but because she wanted to investigate before saying anything. And just like that, the narrative shifted again, because now people weren't asking, did it happen? They were asking, what did she find out? And just when it seemed like things were starting to fade away, something new came out. Something that changed everything. Nore, the host of Drink Champs, revealed that he once had Quavo and Takeoff on his show. And during that interview, he asked the exact question everyone had been wondering about. Did Offset and Saweetie actually hook up? According to him, he got an answer. A clear one. But then he did something unexpected. He cut it out. Completely removed it from the interview. Not because it wasn't important, but because of what he called man code. He admitted that he still has the footage, the question, the answer, everything. But he refuses to release it, and that alone would have been enough to spark curiosity. But then it got deeper, because during another interview, he doubled down, said he would never sell it, never leak it, never even tell Cardi. He's taking that answer to the grave. And that's when people really started connecting the dots. Because think about it. If the answer was nothing, why hide it? If it was just a rumor, why protect it? That's the part that doesn't sit right with a lot of people. And then it got even more intense, because behind the scenes, something else was happening. Apparently, Offset found out about that interview before it dropped. And instead of letting it play out, a call was made. Not directly, but through someone with serious influence. Diddy. According to what was said, Diddy reached out and basically convinced NORE not to release that part of the interview, framing it as something bigger than just content, something that could damage relationships, families, and reputations. And just like that, the clip disappeared. Now pause for a second, because this is where the situation goes from rumor to something way more serious. Because if nothing happened, why would anyone step in like that? Why make calls? Why remove footage? Why protect something that supposedly doesn't exist? That's the question fans keep asking. And the more time passes, the louder that question gets. Online, people have already made up their minds. Some believe the silence says everything. Others think it's all just speculation blown out of proportion. But one thing is clear, nobody believes this story is as simple as it was first presented. And then there's the bigger picture, because this wasn't just about relationships. It was about a group that once dominated hip-hop. The Migos weren't just successful, they were untouchable at one point. Their chemistry, their sound, their influence, it was on another level. But over time, things started to fall apart. Tension, distance, unspoken issues that never really made it into the public conversations. And when you look back now, people can't help but question whether this situation was already heavier behind the scenes than anyone ever admitted. Because what we usually see online is just the surface. The interviews, the clips, the headlines, they rarely show the full emotional weight of what people are actually carrying. Sometimes it's not the loud arguments or public drama that end things. It's the silence in between. The missed conversations, the things that should have been said but weren't. And in hindsight, those gaps start to feel a lot more important than anything that was actually spoken out loud. And now, with Takeoff no longer here, the possibility of ever hearing every side of the story directly from everyone involved is gone. That alone changes how people view the entire situation. Not necessarily because it confirms anything, but because it removes the chance for final clarity. That's what leaves this story in such a complicated place. It's not fully confirmed, not fully denied, and not fully understood either. Instead, it exists in that uncomfortable middle space where speculation fills in the blanks faster than facts ever could. And that's usually where narratives start to split. Different people connect different dots. Some rely on what was publicly said, others focus on what was never addressed. And over time, those interpretations start to feel like separate versions of the same reality. Maybe that's part of why this keeps resurfacing, because unresolved stories tend to linger longer than clean endings. People return to them not just for answers, but for closure that never really arrived. But even then, it's important to recognize something. Online discussions don't always reflect the full truth. They often reflect fragments, perspectives, and assumptions layered on top of each other. So now, the question isn't only what happened, but how much of what people believe is shaped by evidence? And how much is shaped by silence? Is this simply an internet narrative that grew beyond what the facts support? Or is there still context missing that only a few people ever truly understood? At the end of the day, that's where it's left. Open, unfinished, and interpreted differently depending on who you ask. Because one thing's for sure, this story isn't going away anytime soon. And the more people try to keep it quiet, the louder it seems to get. So, what do you think really happened here? Was it all cap? Or is there more to the story than we're being told? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is one of those situations where perspective really matters. Do you think this is just another case of the internet building a story from fragments? Or is there still something deeper that hasn't fully come to light yet? And if you want more breakdowns like this, stories that go beyond the surface and dig into what people aren't really saying, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the next update on this isn't just another piece of information. It might not just add to the story, it could completely change how people see it. So stay tuned.